well, you've never been shy about these kind of subjects, but so is it important for you to have subjects that are socially important or socially have a significance?
You know, my way to express myself is it's always for something, you know, for something also social, but but in the up tempo, for example, I used to say I use a double meaning word. I like the joke, you know, and with a little bit of irony and a little bit of sarcasm, but against something that I don't like, social or not social.
Without anything that the kind of you experience or think about?
All my songs are for experience.
Okay. So,
for example, the one that is now in #1 in the charts in Italy is called, the single is called Partigiano Reggiano. Is a double meaning because it's a joke. Instead of Parmigiano Reggiano, I say Partigiano Reggiano. That is partisan. No? I'm from Reggio Emilia. I'm Reggiano, and Partigiano is the partisan. So I'm joking about this, but in the meantime, I said that I feel that we are not free at all, and I need freedom. I need to be free. We need to be follow some ideals, come si dice, something to, without armies, but to shout or to go against some kind of dictator.
Right.
So, and in the ballads, I'm more like, of course, more poetic and more deep, and there are a lot of my roots in all my ballads.
And well, if we take one of the ballads, are the ballads also part of kind of what you experience and what you are they personal?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, always personal.
Okay.
I mean, something that make myself, you know, bad, or something that make me happy, or some kind of feeling that I have. Also, maybe just traveling, you know, or just see something, or maybe you are in a airport and you meet with all these people around, and you meet a couple of eyes, and then you leave, and you remember this couple of eyes watching you. It could be, you know, then you imagine that maybe it was your love, or your love of your dream.
So a missed opportunity.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Well, you mentioned the 3 producers you worked with. When did you decide that you wanted 3 producers and not just one?
Because I did already 2 albums with Don Was and Brendan O'Brien, so, and I was very happy to work with them. But in the meantime, I want, as I say, I want a sound more dirty and more rough, and I always loved the Bone Burnett way of producing, especially in the sound of treating the drums and the guitars, sometimes very dark. And so I put all together to have the best from everyone, and it was a very good experience, because the way, for example, that T-Bone is recording is completely different from the others. He used to put all the musicians together in a studio from Nashville, so a little bit of country influences, but very modern. And then after then he start to monopolize the sounds. And for example, he is recording instead of digital, he's still recording in analog. And this, for some songs, for some tracks, make the sound more warm.
Is there, because, well, you've worked not just with really good producers, with great artists over the years. Do you take away things that they show you, or do you take away stuff?
Absolutely. There is always time to learn. A lot of things to learn in music all the time. And for example, I discovered that the pedal steel guitar, that I thought it was just a dreaming sound, like Hawaii, Hawaii. You can have a thousand of combinations, putting, distorted or distortion or like a delay with many, and it became a different instruments. It could sound like a big keyboards, for example, but not like a keyboard. So very unique instruments.
And then, so can you share one thing that Bone Burnett showed you or taught you?
Yeah, compression, and the way that he record and treat the drums is very important. For example, the classic bass and not the Fender one, not the electric one, but compressing in a certain way with this different compressor, it can be a huge, big sound. Many different things.
Okay. Well, now the album is finished, and you had a bit of separation. Can you hear all those elements when you listen back to the music?
Yeah, I'm very. Come si dice? I follow very much the details when I'm mixing or when I'm before to deliver the album to the record company. So when I deliver the album is because more than this I can't do it. I can't do more than this, and of course if I deliver the album means that I'm quite happy, 90%, 80%.
You say quite. Why not 100?
Because 100 is the perfection. I'm with this album at 80%, 85.
What song, if we take the album then, what song do you think you gotten closest to 100% of what you thought the song would be?
For example, 10 More Days, Hey Lord, Streets of Surrender, and Terra Incognita.
Okay. And then if you can pick one, what make
one?
Yeah, just out of those four, your favorite maybe?
My favorite is Hey Lord.
Okay.
The favorite of the record company is Voices.
Okay.
That's why it's the single.
Fair enough. Yeah. But so that song, Hey Lord, what makes that song work for you?
Because it's got a prison song inside. We reproduce a slave song with an old sound with the chain, and it's dark, but and it is a gospel, and the lyrics are very deep, spiritual. So this is the example. The example of the sound of the album.
Okay, finally then, because I think my time is running out.
Yeah.
But well, the album is finished now, and now you're going to play live.
Yeah.
What are your expectations? For instance, you're playing Ziggo Dome here in Amsterdam.
Yes.
So how do you, have you already started working towards how the
Yeah,
the
we
show will
start
be?
to think because to reproduce this kind of album without using sequencer or drum machine, you need a big band. You need a lot of musicians, and I'm putting together a big band, something like 13 musicians on stage,
Okay.
coming mainly from New Orleans and Nashville.
Okay.
And then, you know, we have a lot of rehearsal to do, and the tour is starting. The European tour is starting the 16th of September in Arena di Verona for 10 consecutive nights. And then we come in Europe, including Ziggo Dome, 2 Royal Albert Hall, 3 Olympia in Paris and Germany, all around Europe, and we finish in Tel Aviv before Christmas. And then the next year, at the end of February, we start in North America, Canada, South America, Australia, and Japan for the first time.
Okay. Last question then, because we talked about innocence and recapturing that innocence, and has your definition of success, because you have had a lot of success over the years, has your definition of success changed?
No, I feel that, you know, getting old and after all this time and playing live and making records, I feel the respect of the people for what I'm doing, and from also the other artists around the world. So I'm proud of what I did, but the success is good, but it's good, and I'm happy, but you know, there are still a lot of work to do. It's more important the work and what you do with your music, with your art, than the success, I think. But thanks for coming. I mean, the success, nice to meet you.
I think that's a good ending. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.